Okay. Welcome, everybody. Roll call.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mr. Ballard.
Here.
Ms. Cesario. Here. Ms. Washington.
Here.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yep.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recognition of visitors. Do we no visitors today? First hearing of the public. Should I ask Bambi if she has anything to say? She said, first hearing of the public. She's ignoring me.
She's
Okay.
ignoring us.
Need a motion to approve the minutes?
Second. Go ahead.
Roll call?
Mr. Ballard.
Yes.
Ms. Cesario.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Ms. Washington.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion for old business. This is approval of renewal of contract with the Communication Director, Aaron Graham, by the Board of Education.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Ballard.
Yes.
Ms. Washington.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Ms. Cesario. Yes. And Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Report and recommendation of the treasurer.
I have items 8.01 through 8.03 for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Ms. Cesario.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mr. Ballard.
Yes.
And Ms. Washington.
Yes.
Reports and recommendation of CEO personnel matters.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to invite Ross May into the conversation, just to provide a brief update. And this was on our agenda for the last meeting, but because of time constraints, we pushed it out to this meeting. And if you could also give us an update on where we are with reading. The first one is the arts. And Ross, if you'd be so kind as to kind of walk folks through, first of all, why are we investing in the arts and what's the advantage? And then the process that we followed and our, I guess, most recent update.
Yeah, glad to. And I was hoping that my screen would just load right up like that, but doesn't seem to be quite that simple. No, the short of it is when we're looking at what our students have available to them, arts needs to be an important part and commensurate just with reading, with math, science, social studies. And so I was going to show you, but maybe not. Here, let me try again. Why this isn't just coming right up? Well, we may just do it this way. I don't know why it's not working. We'll try one more time, then we'll just do it. Yep, there we go. All right, third time was the charm. Except now it's not playing. All right, well.
You're a trained professional. You don't want to-
All right. Well, the purpose here for our expansion is that for our students, the arts are vital. And so we've had a group of folks that have been working on this all year, and my computer is not going to cooperate. So this is the most important slide we're going to hit on then. Students with robust arts experiences are 5 times more likely to graduate on time than their peers that do not have robust arts experiences. And the most benefit for those students who experience art goes to students who are experiencing poverty. So for us, it's hugely important. And the National Endowment for the Arts did a 12-year longitudinal study that over 20,000 students were part of the sample. They looked over, again, 12 years to look at the impact of the arts. And again, the students that had a robust arts experience were 5 times more likely to graduate than those that didn't. So for us, that's a game changer. We know the arts are hugely important for how our students regulate social emotionally. Oh, seems like I'm on about a 2-minute delay here. Well, we're going to be thankful for that group of folks that is spent a lot of time, effort, and energy.
We'll make sure to get this on the website and out there for everybody to see. So we'll walk folks through it.
yeah, I don't know why my computer's not working here. But along with that, the National Dropout Prevention Council did a white paper they wrote in 2017 about how to prevent students from dropping out. And we partnered with them on, with Success Academy. And their number one recommendation to prevent students from dropping out is to have students with a really robust arts experience. And it's not about credit recovery. It's not about after-school programs or diversion programs in high school. They attributed age 9 to being the hinge point for students to have a really robust arts experience. And if they had that robust arts experience, their, again, likelihood of persisting and graduating went up dramatically. So there's a lot of good evidence to support the importance for the arts. And this is just not going to work here. I'll try minimizing it here. Maybe it'll go quicker this way. Well, we tried that, and even on the third time, it still didn't want to work. That's all right. So the short of it with our team is we start out by figuring out what we currently have. And our arts offerings at the elementary school are very different from each other, building to building. At the middle school, again, different building to building. We have, with the exception of one of our elementary schools, the majority, everybody else, is on a cart for art, which limits very much in the elementary schools what our students are able to access. Because if you don't have a sink, you really can't do paint or clay or chalk, mediums that need cleanup. And then the same thing for music. So most of our students who in elementary were experiencing music on a cart, which again limits what our students are able to experience through instruments, through drama, because they don't really have the space then to do that. At the middle school, each of our schools had a different schedule, and our choir rooms are the in-school suspension rooms in a couple cases right now. So we don't even have choir that we offer in our middle schools. And at the high school, we currently have our music programs, but on the visual art, we really just have the Foundations to Art, which is an introductory art experience, but that's it. So back to process, we figured out what we currently offer. Then we went through the research, and we found a number of different research articles that talked about the importance of the arts and the types of arts that are important. And then from there, we met with a number of other school districts to learn from their approach to the arts from preschool all the way through high school. And then we surveyed our families, and then we surveyed our students. And so we had survey results that I may not be able to show you here.
But there are results.
There are results. Drew, I may need this new computer sooner than I was thinking. It's all good. But the short of it is our families were really clear that they wanted their students to experience the arts approximately 2 to 3 times per week was the sweet spot that they wanted their students to be experiencing the arts. The number one request that they had for us for an arts expansion was dance. And that was at elementary school and at middle school. And then the high school, they wanted more dance, but it didn't stand out quite as strongly as at middle school and in the elementary schools. Our students really want instruments in elementary school. We surveyed our 4th through 11th graders, and we had about 1,200 students respond, by the way, so we had fantastic student response. So they really want instruments at the elementary level. At the middle school, they also really want dance. At the middle school level, they really want to figure out how we can have marching band for them in middle school. They also really want dance, and they want more visual art. Then at the high school level, our families and our students both wanted more advanced pathways for the arts. So they wanted to be able to take a ceramics 1 to ceramics 2 and an advanced ceramics, for example. So they wanted more advanced pathways, and they want some more options for electives at the high school level. So where we are now is our elementary team. We are working, and we're going to have a facilities team that figures out how to do this, but to make sure that we have space for both art and music where we have a sink, so our visual art can use multiple mediums that require setup and tear down. We're also going to work on having instruments then at elementary, so pre-K through 2nd grade we're going to emphasize percussion. Percussion will go all the way through 5th grade, but we're going to really emphasize it through 2nd grade. Then in third grade, we'll emphasize recorders. Fourth grade, our students really want to play the ukulele, interestingly enough. So we're going to introduce some strings then in fourth grade with ukuleles. And then our students, the number one instrument that they wanted to learn how to play is piano. And so we're going to introduce then piano in fifth grade. So then if we just play the music out, then into middle school, we'll still have band. We're also going to offer choir, and then we're going to integrate some theater in with choir in the middle schools. And then at the high school, we'll still have our band certainly and our choir, but then we also had interest in digital audio production. So we'll be adding a digital audio production as a course for our students in high school. For visual art, we are again going to work from a space perspective to make sure that our visual art teachers have sinks is a really big thing that they need, and storage, so that we can do more than really emphasizing a lot of drawing right now, but we can use multiple mediums. Then through into the middle schools, I guess the middle school structure, I really should describe a little bit better as a whole. So the middle school, our students on the survey said they want everything. And so our challenge was to figure out how we give them the opportunity to experience everything. And that led us to look at our middle school schedule as a whole and realize that our middle schools were not on the same schedule, so we need to get them on the same schedule. And that we need to be offering the same elective opportunities at each of our middle schools. So where we are now is that in sixth grade, we'll be offering an exploratory path where band would be 1 year, but then all the other options would be quarterly. So our students have the opportunity to experience all of those different arts offerings in sixth grade, and then they can make a selection for seventh grade that would be either semester, or they could choose up to a year long for an elective. And then the same thing in eighth grade. So they could, again, they've had a chance to experience it in sixth grade, decide what they like and really want to pursue more, then they can do that and concentrate more in seventh grade, and then pursue it more in eighth grade. So in seventh grade and eighth grade, our students would be able to take at least 2 arts at the same time if they wanted to now. Currently, they could only take 1, so if they're in band, that's all they get. They would not have the opportunity for visual art or dance. So they'll be able to take 2 arts offerings. And then part of the middle school redesign as well is making sure that we can offer courses for high school credit in the middle school as well. So marching band, for example, is something that we're going to figure out to be able to offer in 8th grade, which would be for high school credit. Health class we'll offer in 8th grade for a high school credit. We also will offer Algebra 1 still for high school credit, and then Spanish 1 as a possibility for high school credit. So that arts discussion has kind of branched into a few different avenues that we uncovered that we really needed to address. We're also going to expand Project Lead the Way, which is really kind of an innovation and a STEM-based approach. For right now, it's just at Longfellow. It'll be at all 3 of our middle schools next year as well for our students to participate in. So that's pretty cool. And then just to finish up middle school, and then we'll go back to elementary and high school, we'll also be offering dance at the middle school, since our students really want to dance. Our families really want to dance, so we're going to offer dance then as an arts offering as well in the middle school. So all total, we'll have 8 elective options for students in middle school for next year. So then elementary, we'll be adding dance as well. And then at the high school level, we'll be offering dance as an elective. So we have a dance program from elementary all the way up through high school. And then in visual art, we're going to be offering advanced pathways in ceramics, in drawing and painting, and in design. So we'll have ceramics 1, ceramics 2, and then advanced ceramics. So our students that want to pursue more in a college and career in those areas will be able to do that. And then we're also going to introduce digital art as another option. So we'll have a 4th pathway in visual art that our students can pursue. So we'll start phasing that in next school year, and then build in advanced pathways in the following years after, second semester and then the following years after our students take the intro course for that. So pretty big expansion, that we're looking at right now, from elementary all the way up through high school.
This is all coming this coming school year,
Correct.
starting in the fall. So
Starting in the fall. Mm-hmm.
So we're finally getting to where we're having arts and music and
Yep.
everything
going to be exactly the same? It's going to look the same at all three high schools, or middle schools, so that we can,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, no, one of
Yeah, I
our,
think that's really
one of our
important.
Very
upfront,
important.
commitments was that we have to have equitable opportunity across the district. And we are not
Sure.
going to create niche schools or niche programs that are housed in specific places. So, no, all of our students need to have access to choir or to dance or to, whatever the elective art offering is.
Yeah, so all three middle schools and all 10 elementary schools will be
Yep.
similar.
Great.
It's good for me to hear this, because I'm probably the only person who was here when we took everything away. Okay, so it's nice to see it come back.
Yeah.
I was here in a different role.
Yeah, in 210 and 211, it was not pleasant to be on this board and have to sit here and vote for something to take away from children. It's never, you're never in a good place.
Right.
So,
I have a couple questions. And I'll say my children were here, and so I could only imagine how it felt sitting on the board and having to make that tough decision. But a question that I had, it sounds fun for the ukulele, but I would like to ask, in the piano as well, will that be something that they will be able to continue to do on up through middle school and high school level?
Yeah, and we've got to figure out exactly what that looks like yet.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And then there was one other question. The dance too, will that be something that sort of increases with their level of skill as they progress as middle school and high school?
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. And so what we're looking to build, and I was talking with the representative from the Ohio Arts Council last week about this, is to intentionally build a program that starts in preschool and goes all the way through into high school, and to look at it as a comprehensive program as opposed to just kind of a smattering of options. But yes.
Nice. And then I just have one other question, and I think we sort of know the answer, but so everybody will know, are we hiring our own teachers, or are we hiring a company to come in and
Nope,
teach?
these will be our teachers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's what I got in arts.
All right.
I'm not going to try technology on reading.
Why don't you do it next time then? Is that all right?
I
Would
mean,
it be easier?
It's a quick one if you want, just a quick one.
Okay,
that we can
please,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, so just the short of the reading, so action step, teaching and learning 14 in our plan is to get into and really revise our reading achievement plan. And our reading achievement plan, districts need to have a reading achievement plan. And the last time it was put together, not with bad intent, but it really focused on kind of a narrow subset of elementary. And we needed to be district-wide. So we conducted a selection process. We've got a team of about 20, representative of some classroom teachers, some of our intervention specialists. We have some of our teachers that are teaching students learning English. We've got some central office folks, really nice team. And our process right now is to learn collectively about the science of reading. So there has been a tremendous amount of research in the last 20 years about how the brain learns how to read. And it's not guesswork. There is very clear science about how we learn how to read. And so to start, this team is learning first about that science of reading. We're partnering with our state support team to help us with this. The partnership's been excellent. And once this team has learned about the science of reading, and it's pretty in-depth, then we're going to start putting together a reading achievement plan. And so that won't happen until probably end of May, beginning of June, will be when we revise our reading achievement plan. There are a couple specifics along the way that we need to address. The first one here is that we take a pre-K-12 approach, so not just an early elementary approach to how we learn how to read, but one of the things we're going to need to learn really deeply is there are the 5 big ideas of beginning reading, and then there are the 5 big ideas of adolescent literacy. And so we need to make sure that we're really clear about how we support our staff at a secondary level with reading as well. And then the second part of here is that our state legislature passed a dyslexia law that starting next school year, all K-1 teachers in the state have to have 18 hours of professional development on reading, on the science of reading. So when we put our plan together initially, we knew that this was a bill that was hanging out in subcommittee and ended up rising to the point of being passed. And so it positions us really, really well for the professional development that our teachers have to have anyway. So all K-1 teachers for next school year, the following year, all second and third grade teachers have to, and then the following year after that, all 4th through 12th grade intervention specialists have to be professionally developed. And I don't know that we'll follow that time frame. We may be quicker or not. I don't know. The team will decide what that rollout looks like. But that's the legislative piece that our approach is going to help us meet anyway.
Is this something that will be in place in the fall?
Some of it, yeah. I mean, we will not do training with all of our teachers and say, all right, now go and good luck. But we will start training, and we will most likely scatter our training and coaching supports throughout the course of the year. And
I'm specifically thinking before the cuts, we had both ELA and reading in the middle school. Is that a model we are trying to get back to or trying to integrate?
no, not kind of part and parcel out like that, as much as really understanding just how our brain works. So when we present information, when we structure things, when we give practice opportunities, really knowing how the brain works to set that up, and then based on what we learn from there, we'll get into the specifics of our plan.
Okay.
But yeah, that's that. I mean, we haven't gotten anywhere close to that right
Beautiful.
now.
Excellent. Thank you. And for me, and again, I don't want to be exclusionary, so I want to just thank everybody. As we have tried to do with most things, we try to be incredibly inclusive to make sure we got everyone's voice at the table, everybody's perspective shared. So if I were just to thank a few people, there's no possible way I could capture it. But appreciate your leadership and the engagement process that we followed to make sure that at the end of the day, we've got the right people are doing the right things. So thank you. Okay. Yes, sir. Nope. On these. I'd like the board to consider for approval items 9.01 to 9.05, personnel matters. Right? Okay.
Move to accept.
Second?
Roll call?
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Ms. Nazario. Yes. Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mr. Ballard.
Yes.
And Ms. Washington.
Yes.
I'd like the board to consider for approval items 10.01 to 10.10. Operation matters.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Roll call? I thought we was gonna, I was gonna say discussion, if anybody had anything they wanted to say first. No? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Ballard.
Yes.
Ms. Washington.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Ms. Nazario. Yes. And Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
And that's all I have this evening, Mr. President.
Okay.
Through the chair, could I have a question? For the sake of the new board and a refresher for the rest of us, maybe our next meeting or the following meeting, could you kind of give us an update on where we are baseline with the whole House Bill 70 piece and our approach on what's going to happen when the new school year kicks in, and just kind of bring everybody up to speed? You don't have to do that today.
Yep, we can.
But
It's
it would
consistent with our strategic plan, but yeah, we'll make sure we have an itemized
baseline
breakout.
on what's
Yep.
going on, because it's been kind of
Thank you.
quiet. Thank you.
Okay, you have nothing else? In new business? Committee reports and requests from board members. Second hearing of the public. Got nothing. Okay. Announcement of our next board meeting will actually be March 17th. The board's going to meet at George Daniel Field, and we'll be looking at a renovation project
1 p.m.
at 1 p.m. St. Patrick's Day. Okay, I need a motion to go into executive session for A2 employment.
If I could also add, we got a text from Mr. Giardini. He'd like us to add
He's right
pending
behind
litigation.
you.
He'd like us to add pending litigation to that.
Got it, okay.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Washington.
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mr. Ballard.
Yes.
And Ms. Nazario. Yes.
Okay.
Will we be voting on anything when we come back?
We might. We may have one thing to vote on when we come up.
Okay.
Well, no, the higher there's like golf. Yeah. The lower numbers are better. I'll make the rules.
You guys got a whole little sideshow going on over there.
Is this the CD that they sell?
We need a motion to come out of executive session.
So
So,
moved.
second?
Roll call.
Ms. Washington,
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson,
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill,
Yes.
Mr. Ballard,
Yes.
Ms. Nazario.
Yes.
See everybody on the 17th.
We need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Oh, I forgot to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Ballard,
Yes.
Ms. Nazario,
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill,
Yes.
Ms. Washington,
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson.
Yes.
I was looking at my watch to see how long it took you to get up.
Wow, even Ethan left us.
Thank you for